The grease-stained floor of Sterling's auto body echoed with a loud bang as Caleb Sterling slammed a wrench onto the hood of Maya Vance's sedan. It's a $5,000 transmission job. Sweetheart, pay the diagnostic fee, or I'm keeping the keys. Caleb's voice was a rough snarl of pure arrogance. Maya, a woman of dark complexion and a sharp forensic accountant, didn't blink. She looked at the mechanic and spoke with a terrifying, calm precision. Caleb, you didn't just try to scam a customer. You just handed a fraudulent invoice to the daughter of the man who wrote the state's consumer protection laws. You have exactly 10 minutes to lower that lip before my father arrives with a forensic audit team and a sheriff to shut this garage down for good. The sound of a heavy Blacktown car pulling into the gravel lot signaled the start of a reckoning Caleb never saw coming. The humid air inside Sterling's elite automotive smelled of burnt oil and dishonesty. Maya Vance, a woman of dark complexion whose eyes were as sharp as her professional attire, stood in the cramped waiting room. Her car had a simple sensor light on, but she knew the moment she walked in that Caleb Sterling, the owner, saw her as a payday rather than a client. Caleb was a man who believed that a woman in a nice suit knew nothing about what happened under a hood. He thrived on the information gap, using technical jargon to confuse and intimidate. He stepped out from the garage, wiping his greasy hands on a rag, a smug, dismissive sneer fixed on his face. Bad news, Ms. Vance. The whole transmission is shot. Metal shavings in the pan. It's going to be $6,000 cash or credit before I even put the bolts back in. Caleb lied, leaning against the counter with an air of untouchable authority. Caleb, I ran an OBD2 scan myself this morning. It's a faulty O2 sensor. That's an $80 part, Maya replied, her voice cool and steady. Caleb laughed, a jagged, mocking sound. A Google search doesn't make you a mechanic. In this shop, my word is the law. Now, are you paying the bill, or am I calling the tow yard to impound this junk? Maya reached for her phone to call for a second opinion. But Caleb wasn't interested in a fair fight. He was interested in leverage. Caleb reached out and forcefully grabbed Maya's wrist, twisting her arm away from the counter as he snatched her car keys. The physical abuse of power was jarring in the quiet shop. Caleb pinned Maya against the vending machine, his grease-covered forearm pressing against her shoulder to keep her from moving. I told you, no calls until the bill is settled. Caleb hissed, his face inches from hers. You think you can come into my shop and tell me how to do my job? You're lucky I'm even giving you the option to pay. Most girls like you would just cry and hand over the title. Maya suffered the physical violation with a stoic, dangerous dignity. She felt the cold metal of the machine against her back. Caleb, you are currently committing a physical assault and felony theft by conversion. I suggest you remove your hand before you realize that my father is currently 3 minutes away, and he doesn't take kindly to people who touch his daughter or his assets. Caleb didn't listen. He ratcheted the pressure on Maya's arm, intentionally causing her to drop her briefcase. Your father? What's he gonna do? Send me a mean letter? I've been in this neighborhood for 20 years. I am the law on this block. He forcefully shoved Maya toward the exit, her keys disappearing into his pocket. The tension broke as a sleek Blacktown car with official plates pulled into the lot, followed by a white van with State Audit Division printed on the side. Arthur Vance, a man of dark complexion with a presence that radiated legal power, stepped out of the car. He was followed by two men in suits carrying laptops and a sheriff's deputy. The flow shifted from a garage scam to a high-level forensic raid. Arthur didn't look at the cars. He looked at his daughter, who was standing by the door with a red mark on her wrist where Caleb had grabbed her. The silence that fell over the garage was absolute. Caleb, still holding the wrench, felt a chill go down his spine. He recognized Arthur Vance from the evening news, the man known as the Hammer of the Hudson, the state's most feared consumer rights attorney. The suspense reached a fever pitch as the sheriff's deputy walked directly up to Caleb. The mechanic's arrogance began to leak out like a punctured radiator. Caleb Sterling? The deputy asked, his voice a low, professional rumble. I have a warrant for a spot audit of your books and a temporary restraining order regarding the vehicle of Maya Vance. The flow shifted. Arthur Vance walked past the deputy and stood exactly 6 inches from Caleb. He didn't yell. He didn't swing. He simply looked at the grease on Caleb's hands and then at the bruise on his daughter's arm. Just before the shocking reveal, We want to take a quick moment to thank you for your support, love, and kindness. We wouldn't have come this far without you. Subscribing is one of the best ways you can help us. It's quick for free and allows us to continue to bring you great content. Your support means everything. Let's keep this channel growing collectively. Where are you watching from? Drop your city and country in the comments below. Thank you very much. Now, let's get back to the story. Arthur Vance reached into his suit jacket and pulled out a Golden Boss business card, placing it on the greasy counter. "Caleb," Arthur said, his voice a razor-sharp blade of authority. "My daughter is a forensic accountant for State. I am the man who drafted the Lemon Law. You've been violating for the last hour. You didn't just try to overcharge a customer. You just invited the entire State Revenue Service into your bedroom." He turned his gaze to the sheriff's deputy. "Officer," Arthur said quietly, "he still has my daughter's keys in his pocket, and I believe he used physical force to keep her from leaving. I want him in cuffs while my team goes through every single invoice in this building." The air in Sterling's elite automotive grew cold as Caleb Sterling realized the magnitude of his mistake. The helpless girl he had pinned against a vending machine was now flanked by a sheriff's deputy and the state's most feared consumer rights attorney. Caleb's hand, still stained with the oil of 100 scams, shook as he slowly pulled Maya's keys from his pocket and placed them on the counter. "Mr. Vance, sir, it was just a misunderstanding about the labor costs," Caleb stammered, his face turning a sickly shade of gray. "I was just trying to make sure the car was safe for her." "Safe?" Arthur Vance echoed, his voice vibrating through the garage. "You told my daughter her transmission was shot when you knew it was a sensor. You tried to extort $6,000 from a forensic accountant who specializes in fraud detection. But your biggest mistake, Caleb, was putting your hand on her. The power shift was total. The master of the garage was now a suspect in his own shop." The audit team began opening filing cabinets, their laptops humming as they prepared to dismantle 20 years of predatory business practices. Caleb's arrogance had led him to believe he was untouchable, but the truth reveal showed he was nothing more than a small-time thief about to lose his kingdom. Maya Vance stepped forward, her voice calm and lethal. She didn't need to yell. The sound of the audit team scanners was the only noise she needed. "Caleb," Maya said, "you told me your word was a law on this block, but the law doesn't belong to you. It belongs to the people you've been robbing for years, the elderly neighbors, the students, and the people you thought wouldn't fight back." The sheriff's deputy stepped forward, the metallic clack of handcuffs echoing off the corrugated metal walls. "Caleb Sterling, you're under arrest for felony battery and attempted grand larceny by fraud." As Caleb was let out of his own shop in front of the neighboring business owners and several regular customers who had stopped to watch, the elite sign above his door flickered and died. The public shaming was absolute. He was forced into the back of a cruiser, while Arthur's team began tagging every piece of equipment for seizure. The arrogant bully had been liquidated by the very justice system he thought he could outrun. The Sterling audit became a landmark case in the state, leading to the Vance Transparency Act, which required all auto shops to provide digital diagnostic proof before charging for major repairs. Maya Vance didn't just get her car fixed. She used her expertise to help the state recover over $2 million for other victims of Caleb's scams. The moral resolution saw the shop reopen under new, honest management, while Maya and Arthur stood together as a symbol of protection for the community. Maya's status as a top-tier forensic investigator was solidified, proving that when you try to scam someone based on your own bias, you're often the one who ends up paying the highest price. Arrogance is a screen that hides your own incompetence, leading you to believe that everyone else is as blind as you are. When you use your specialized knowledge to exploit others, you aren't showing your skill. You are revealing your lack of integrity. The truth is, the person you think you can easily manipulate today may be the one who possesses the exact tools needed to dismantle your life tomorrow.